Hey guys, Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. I'm actually up on top of the roof at my mama's house. She called me. We've been having all this bad rain and stuff, but she said that her ceiling in her house was leaking and needed help. So I've been up here on the roof here, and I'm not crazy about heights and things like that. I don't like to be up high and all that. Yes, I'm a scared ass. But I've been walking the roof and looking at it and found literally a pin dot hole. And that little pin dot hole was enough that when we had enough rain that the water pulled up and drained into her ceiling and stuff. So I'm gonna patch it. Now for me, this is really getting back to my roots, okay? You know, this is where I grew up over here. You know, that's the backyard and things. And over here, the shopping center wasn't here when I grew up. This was actually, my parents bought the house from the family, but they couldn't afford to buy all the land that's now the shopping center over here. But growing up, there used to be a climbing tree, which is like a honeysuckle bush that we used to climb and play on and stuff. There used to be an apple tree that my brother ended up accidentally burning down because he was using a magnifying glass and getting the ants. And we actually saw a couple of UFOs over there. But this spot that I'm standing on right now is where I got my love and my beginning as far as carpentry was. Because we put this addition on. I was about 10 years old working with my uncle, Lawrence, who had only an 8th grade education, but was one hell of a carpenter. And, oh wow, yeah, that shingle right there is off. The weather has been bad out here, so I gotta get some shingles. Ask Grandma if she has any shingles. Yeah, but we need a couple of them. There's a couple. Ask if she has some more of them. So we're doing some stuff because you got to take care of Mama. But what's amazing is this roof up here. When I was 10 years old, I was part of framing this thing up. And I remember my Uncle Lawrence, who was a little bit crazy. He would work enough until he could get some money in his pocket. Then he would stay drunk for a few days before he'd come back to work. But Uncle Lawrence was a little bit off. And the funny thing is when we framed up the rafters up on here, he had me up on top of the plywood nailing it down. And I was scared to death. And he kept saying, don't be no blank to blank mama's boy, nail that stuff down. So I wasn't sure if I was more afraid of falling off of here or more afraid of my Uncle Lawrence throwing me off here. But some 40 plus years later, I'm back standing up on this same roof. But it's amazing how if you build something right, it'll last the test of time. And that's where we are with our Cowboys right now. We get good players. You can't tell me that a Tony Romo or a Jason Witten or a DeMarcus Ware, that these guys aren't great players. In fact, I dare say we've had more talent than a lot of teams. You build a foundation, but it's not just enough to have good materials. You got to be able to put that stuff together correctly to build and last that test of time. You got to have a good plan. You got to know what you're doing. And I'm not sure that our Cowboys have that just yet. I'm hoping that they can get that stuff together, but I just don't see it with Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett reminds me of what my Uncle Lawrence used to say, an educated fool. And I've dealt with plenty of educated fools in my time in construction. The architect, I've got the degree, I've got all the stamps, I know what I'm talking about. But when it comes down to the nuts and bolts of building, they don't know crap. It's the guys in the trenches, the everyday man, the guy that people look down upon, that are really the builders of stuff that lasts the test of time. That's our problem in Dallas. You need that guy who's not the educated fool, not the Princeton graduate, not the ketchup bottle test guy. You need a guy who has been down in the trenches, who's been down to war, has had to dig deep from within and understand what it takes to win. Because people will respect that guy. They will look up to that guy and they will follow that guy through a brick wall. Yeah. Got some other work I need to do here. Railing's kind of rotted out a little bit, but I'm not falling through the roof. So we'll work on taking care of Grandma. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'm keeping it real. But I love the view from up here. See you soon.